So this person was like, because I'm not Rasta, right? If I'm walking down the street and they look at me, right? How do they know that I'm not Rasta, I'm just a reggae, right? Like, is there a difference, firstly, between reggae and... So there's someone who doesn't listen to reggae. There's someone, he's just asking...
Who looks at you and associates you with the culture or subculture.
So they know that I'm a DJ.
Okay.
I'm a reggae dancehall DJ. But they know that I'm not Rasta.
They don't know that you're not Rasta.
They know that I'm not Rasta.
Oh, they also know that you're not Rasta.
They know that I'm not Rasta.
Okay.
But they're like, me there and a Rasta man there, you know.
What's the difference?
Is there a difference?
Toolie Tools, Larity, Random Red. Right.
He is mortal and immortal, rastafari. Fulfillment of deliverance and delivery. Oh, nigga, side of the place the eye. Yeah, praise him, my rastafari. You set up the Jah in a nominee. Fulfillment of prophecy, the Almighty. No matter what mother study, what we reach, what degree. Satan reach up in the pinnacle and still can't free. You know we use the policy maker, them direct them policy. And select who fi punish when them all guilty. Oh, hey, Selassie in the first eye. He is mortal and immortal as the far. Fulfillment of the deliverance and delivery. Oh, he goes high, I feel bless the eye. Yeah, praise him, my Rastafari. So long spread this wickedness, them do it to a wickeder degree. And the cross of your usher was the reach 33. In the continuation in the ancestry. But the conquering lion has prepared to lose the seal. Make your eye top, Rastafari, make your mouth see your nose know. If them think is healthy, elect no elected, not necessarily appointed. In the lamb book of legend, not the lion reveal. The Talawa was devastated, Mozilidi. Allotment to the righteous in a Shashamani. The honor of the lion now you cry diggy. And liberty be found here in a just size worthy. From them turn it up defilement to feel lock it up with. Hey, the eye, Selassie eye. Hey, the eye, Selassie eye. Oh, yeah, the eye, Selassie the first eye. He is mortal and immortal, that's a far right. Early this morning, I see love in front of me. Yo again, when I run early this morning, I feel Jah inside of me. Yo again, it not take nothing at all. Feel the king, him bless me in a what me doing. It not take nothing at all. Feel the king, Selassie I the king of all kings. It not take nothing at all.
And that's how we open this show. I go by the name Toolie Tools. Welcome to another episode of LNTLive. Broadcasting from the city of gold, Johannesburg, in South Africa. That's in Africa, for those of you that don't know. And yet, yes, we got the whole team. For those that are tuning in or listening to us for the first time, you know, you'll kind of get the hang of it. But yeah, this is the whole team right here with me in studio. We got the one and only. I'll let her introduce herself because I love the way she introduces herself.
Her name is Zam Bam with the biggest jams that you've seen this far. Of late, they call her Empress Marshmallow. Welcome to it, guys. So nice to be back.
I love the way your name like changes almost every episode.
All the time, bro.
I'm every woman, right? It's all in me.
Oh, Calvin has to top that intro. Calvin has to top that intro. Because for those that are regular listeners, you know how Calvin has been fighting this battle. But today he promised us that he's gonna come in strong. He's gonna come in strong.
Be ready for
so
you.
I'll turn the music down a bit. all the way from Dubai, the UAE. It's the what? Who? Calvin,
You heard
that's
the
a cue.
music that we just played. Everything is
Oh my
nice and
goodness.
mellow. Respect
Oh my goodness.
Rastafarianism. It's
Oh
Rhythm
my
Dawn
goodness.
back again. Thank you all. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be back. It had been a while. That's about it for me. And looking forward to
That
the
was
next
the calmest
2
intro
hours.
ever.
Absolutely.
Batu.
Like, is everything okay, Calvin?
Everything is amazing. Everything is amazing. Except
For
my
those
wife
that did not hear
looking at me
him,
weirdly as to what I'm doing right now. But otherwise, absolutely. Aligning with the theme, aligning with the memo
With the
of the
vibes. I
day.
feel you.
wow.
Thank you kindly.
For those that did not hear him from Dubai, that's the Rhythm Dawn, the other half
You,
of Lavoro
you
Duo.
wanted me to top what Zamed? She called herself Empress Marshmallow. What am I supposed to do? Like, give me a
Come on,
give me a
Kelvin.
Something
chance,
the
boss.
biggest
Give me a
rhythm
chance.
done that you've
That
seen
you've
this
seen
far.
thus far. I mean, okay. Listen to how it's supposed to be done. Okay.
I asked Larry to write me an intro. He refused.
Listen. Where's your notebook? Please take your notebook out.
I have my
Now.
notes app open.
Now, are you ready?
Yes.
From the UK, we bring you.
I hope he has the voice. Give us the voice. The voice of the voiceless.
You know, I hope the voice is there. But you know how it goes. We say greetings, Massive Crew, and welcome to yet another episode of LNT Live with yours truly, Roots Reggae Collectives, LNT Sound, and Lavaro in the building. Just in case you don't know, and you never know, and definitely you want to know, this was the voice of the none other than Larry T, aka the Cali Prince. Just in case you don't know, welcome to yet another mashing episode.
Calvin, you were close. You were quite close to that. I felt that, and yeah, I felt that you were very close. A big shout
Close
out
to
to
what? Close to
you guys. So today we got an interesting section of the show because something happened, right? So someone asked me a couple of things which I couldn't kind of fully answer. I thought I needed your guys' help because you guys are like, the
Experts.
smartest people I know, right?
Batu.
Yeah. I'll give you guys that.
Thank you. We'll take it.
So this person was like, because I'm not Rasta, right? If I'm walking down the street and they look at me, right? How do they know that I'm not Rasta, I'm just a reggae, right? Like, is there a difference, firstly, between reggae and... So there's someone who doesn't listen to reggae. There's someone, he's just asking.
Who looks at you and associates you with the culture or subculture?
So they know that I'm a DJ.
Okay.
I'm a reggae dancehall DJ. But they know that I'm not Rasta.
They don't know that you're not Rasta.
They know that I'm not Rasta.
Oh, they also know that you're
They
not
know
Rasta.
that I'm not Rasta.
Okay.
But they're like, me there and a Rasta man there,
What's the difference?
Is there a difference?
It's an interesting question. I think it's a question that's been echoing over the ages when it comes to reggae and Rastafarianism. And thank you for bringing the topic to the table. I think in this room, as experts in reggae and danceology, we've got our own opinions on what that definition can be for us as individuals.
Yeah.
So we can dive into that conversation today.
Yeah, and obviously this being kind of like a sensitive topic,
Yes.
we need to watch what we say.
And we're
'cause,
very respectful of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we're going to try tackle it the best way we know how to.
Yes, this is also for education purposes. This is
Yes.
not an education and entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
This is not an educational channel. We are not experts in religion or theology or anything like that. But I think our opinions are valid as people within the reggae community and making our opinions heard. So I think let's go in for it.
Yeah, man, because there's a couple of words that get used things that are seen on a regular. So yeah, we just need to kind of see what
What are those
about.
things?
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah,
You want to go straight into it, or you want to play some music? Get in the vibe.
Let me play two, 3 tracks so that Calvin can just do more push-ups, and then we'll get straight into it.
Show them the way to live. Never be negative, just be positive. Yo, I miss and never burn your bridge. Ethiopia, that's where it is. Pagan, needless you fight, not first. Hey. I tell them living is a must. Yeah. No matter what the Eden want to say. Yeah. I tried, still I grow we would same way. Yeah. Me I feel the king. I feel love man I bring. Yeah. Me I feel the king.
Rastafari Liberty gonna be the name of the track. That's the voice of Turbulence.
I grow my wool. It is so long.
Thank you for still chilling with us. LNT Live. Just in case you don't know, we've got the whole crew in the building. Larry T,
Yes, Father.
has anyone ever asked you if you were Rasta?
Yeah, I used to get that kind of a question, and I used to be called Rasta by most people when I used to have dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up
Larry.
so I ended up kind of adapting to the being called Rasta.
Did you like being called Rasta?
It's not a matter of liking or wanting. You might not like it, you might not want it, but they will definitely call you Rasta because of dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jaja. Some people call
And
it Jaja. Jalady. I get Jalady quite a lot.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah, Jalady. But it's been better now since I put extensions on my hair. But with my natural locks, I get that all the time. Jalady, sister, empress, queena.
And how does that make you
Empress
feel?
Melanin.
I actually like it, because I've always admired the Rastafarianism movement.
Yeah.
I don't consider it a religion in my point of view, but I've always loved and respected it and associated a lot of my belief systems with it.
Yeah.
So I like it. I find it respectful, especially. Ang papelegi. I don't know how I can say this in English. Like people can't be over familiar with
Yeah, people
me.
respect.
There's a respect that
Yeah,
comes with it.
yeah,
So
a
I
lot.
take that.
Yeah.
I big time.
I love
Anytime
it.
you can call me sister, empress, as long as you're not gonna disrespect me, I'm here for it.
Kelvin?
I
Ever
think that,
been-
that makes you somewhat sacred, Zama, in those people's eyes. Twos, fortunately or unfortunately, I can't think of a time when someone has mistaken me or called me Rasta. No.
Would you consider being a Rasta, Calvin?
No, I was raised Christian, so I don't think so. I think if anything, what the aspects about Rastafarianism that I like, that I'm like, ooh, I wanna adopt that, and make that a part of my being, more so than adopting the whole religion itself. Because as I understood it, it's harder than most people perceive as well. It's a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
hard and disciplined way of life. So I'm like, no, I can't. I don't think I can. But I'm like, ooh, if only I had bits and pieces of this in me, I think I'd be a better
That you
person.
like.
Yeah.
I once considered myself a Rasta, and it's when I was a bit younger, and I was just experimenting with different religions, and as I said, I fell into Rastafarianism. But for me, it was also in a way a rebellion against Christianity, because Calvin and I also grew up Christian. I think most of us in the room
Yeah.
grew up Christian, and we all know how strict Christian households are. There's the idolization of a bit Eurocentric things that don't really exist in our African context. So in my rebellion of Christianity, I fell into Rasta because I was into the Black consciousness movement and all of that. But when I got there, I felt when I got it there in the religious way,
Yeah.
I felt as restricted,
Okay.
right? Because I was escaping rules
Yeah.
in Christianity and
Yeah.
whatnot. And then when I got that side as well, I was like, okay, I feel like I'm trapped again
Yeah.
into behaving a certain way
Yeah.
and having an ideology that I don't fully
to follow
understand. And I did
rules.
try. I read the Kebra Nagast. I was up there with the long dresses, turbans, super
Ah, yeah.
conscious, you know. But
Yeah,
it
man.
couldn't last because I wasn't able to religiously stick to it
Yeah.
as a religion.
So what is
What is Rastafarianism?
yeah.
Okay, this is according to Wikipedia. As we said, this is for edutainment purposes, and all information has been retrieved from the internet. But
you move your
according to
mic?
Wikipedia, I hope you can hear me properly. Rastafari, sometimes called Rastafarianism, is an Abrahamic, Abrahamic religion that developed in Jamaica during the 1930s. It's classified as both new religious movement and a social movement by scholars of religion, which is really interesting, right? It's a religion and a social movement.
Yeah.
There's no central authority and control of the movement, and such diversity exists amongst its practitioners, who are known as Rastafari, Rastafarians, or Rastas. So Rastafarians' beliefs are based on a specific interpretation of the Bible. Central to the religion is a monotheistic, yes, that's English, belief in a single God, referred to as
Sure.
Yeah.
who is deemed to partially reside within each individual. So I and I, that's where the concept of I and I comes
Yes,
from,
sir.
right? Because Jah lives in us and we are Jah. Rastas accord their key importance to Haile Selassie, Emperor of Ethiopia, between 1930 and 1974. Many regard him as the second coming of Jesus and Jah incarnate, while others see him as a human prophet who fully recognize Jah's presence in every individual. Is this the understanding you guys have always had of Rastafarianism?
Yeah. But now, where do we get reggae?
Where do we get reggae from?
So how do the two now? So we've got Rasta, but we have got reggae that looks like Rasta,
That behaves.
that
no,
behaves well, that looks like Rasta.
But I
from
need to
outside.
first with defining
Yes,
what Rasta
yes,
is, right?
yes,
Well, because I
yes,
think
yes.
because
So-
the origins are Jamaica.
Yes.
Each area has
Yes.
its own sound that it's like South African gospel. It sounds very specific to South African gospel, right? Calvin is drumming like a Nyabingi drummer. Do you have an addition there to where the music comes in?
Yeah, look, for me, right, I appreciate fine there was the commercial side that came and ska popping up, what, 1940s, 1950s. Then you then have your Bob Marley eras and stuff coming up. But my understanding is that there's always been some form of worship music of sorts
Yeah.
that did develop to some extent to then come to what we know as reggae, but there was always that form of worship type
Yeah, it's
of
like gospel,
music that
right?
they, yeah, which I consider the foundation of reggae. It was developed to become more commercial and stuff that we can listen to, but there's just that, have you been to those spaces where what do they
Yes,
call
the
them?
Sabbath,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Sabbath, when you observe the Sabbath,
Yes, I
you get
think
to
because
hear
for me
those
that's
sounds. And
where.
you're right, it is praise,
Yeah, exactly. It's praise songs.
praise songs. So Larry, would are there certain things that you associate with Rastafarianism and compare them to reggae music that have overspill?
What I kind of feel like is like reggae music, like Kevin is saying, it was kind of a music of worship or some sort of religion. I also kind of feel like reggae music was also evolved through the struggles, through the time of what you call this,
Slavery.
slave trade,
Slavery, post-slavery,
slavery. Yeah.
yeah, and
So now,
apartheid in South Africa and those kinds of times, because that's when
yeah, that
reggae
kind
also
of,
boomed this side for us.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now,
So it's struggle music and worship music, right? Which
and now having
are rooted in religion.
yeah, and then now we have the Rasta people, the Rasta community, jamming to the reggae, to the bingy drum, to the reggae music, music of struggle. I kind of feel like they're the ones who made it popular. I don't know if I'm making sense.
It is making sense.
Makes
As
sense.
it's
Yeah,
like what
it
Calvin's
should.
saying is the mainstream. So taking something from it's like gospel music, right? It's the way
So
that it's
now,
blown
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
It starts
now
off in
coming with
church and people are praying and whatever, and then it becomes one of the biggest genres of music where even at drinking spots people play gospel, right?
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow.
Right? So you hear gospel at taverns all over Africa, right?
Yeah.
And then at the same time you hear worship reggae music
Yeah.
in the club.
Gospel rig.
So I think that's what you're trying to say about it's going mainstream and kind of having a life of its own outside the religion.
Yeah, because
yeah, I
now,
feel
cause
like
now, I mean, there are
Rasta
certain
is the
things.
backbone of reggae music.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
okay. So, okay, maybe we can come back to, I don't know if we've been talking for too long, but we can go on, can we?
We can go on.
Oh.
So there are a couple of things that because when you started, you said people were saying you look Rasta.
Yes, yes.
Right. And we've spoken about. Larry also said when he had dreadlocks, he was called Rasta.
Yes.
Me, when I don't have the extensions, I'm called Rasta.
Yes. So,
There
yeah.
are certain symbols.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That have transcended through the religion and the movement. What would you say those symbols are? If you guys wanna mention the ones top mind, what
So, like-
symbols of Rasta do you
Yeah,
know?
so like if you have to go to like a dance hall or a reggae party, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things that you're gonna see, right? You're gonna see and because when the person was asking, they're like, like even the greeting, like we don't want to offend people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also that thing that we don't want to offend, like. So we need to know what's what.
What are those- what are those
Yeah,
symbols?
are we allowed to also do, when the 2-7 slash?
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
allowed to wear red, gold, and green type of
Yeah.
thing?
So
Yeah.
those are the symbols that we're talking about,
Yeah, the
right? So
colours
you
and
started with the colors,
the
the
hair.
red, gold, and green. There's the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
There's the food that's eaten, and also the language.
Marijuana.
and marijuana culture.
Yeah.
And when you spoke about language, I just thought of this greeting that I'm familiar with. It says, "Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, Cha,
Rastafari.
who liveth and reigneth within I continually, ever faithful, ever sure." And that is the one of the most traditional ways of greeting Rastafarians. I'm sure people have greeted you guys that way.
All the time.
Well, how do you respond? Calvin, how do you respond to someone greets you?
Rastafari. See, I'll say greetings, Oja, Rastafari.
Yeah, man.
That's normally
I'm
how.
blessed.
Yeah.
There's keywords that we use like blessed
Yeah.
and
I.
and it's such a
Selassie
beautiful,
I.
beautiful, respectful, and we spoke about this earlier.
Yeah.
It's a respectful now, particularly language, but I think subculturally as well. But now, red, gold, and green. Larry, what does red, gold, and green mean to you? If you were
Red,
to
gold, and
define
green. Those are the colors of life. We've got green for the vegetation, yellow for the minerals, and red for the bloodshed and war.
Two. That's amazing because that's exactly the definition I'm seeing here on rastaknowledge.com, which is an article around Rastafarianism. And it's exactly as Larry is saying. Red signifies the blood of those killed for the cause of the African community throughout history. Gold signifies the vast wealth and richness which people belong to in the African continent. Green signifies the lushness and hope of the earth, namely that of the promised land of Ethiopia, Africa. Such a beautiful, beautiful definition of a flag, right?
Yeah.
Because every flag has
Yeah.
its meaning. How do you perceive the flag, Tony Tools?
Yes. To me, those three colors just represent peace. You see those colors anyway. Just
Feel peaceful and safe.
you know what I'm saying. But then there's also now the Lion of Judah.
The Lion of Judah.
Do we have anything on the Lion of Judah?
We do. Calvin, what do you know of the Lion of Judah symbol?
Jeez, no. I fear to offend. I have my
You
understanding.
muted.
No, it's not.
Calvin, we can't hear you.
I can hear you
Okay,
clearly.
Hello?
Okay, I think we're having a bit of a technical issue. We can't hear.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we lost Calvin a bit.
There we go. He's back.
Kevin, I can hear him loud and clear.
Nope, and then we lost him again.
Okay, it's fine. To the tools, what does the Lion of Judah mean to you?
The Lion of Judah. I actually don't really know. I'll the Lion of Judah. I don't want to lie. Let me not lie. Let me not lie. But yeah, I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. But I know it's cause like the one leg like
Up.
this.
You're
Yeah.
literally wearing
Yeah.
a T-shirt with the
I
Lion
know,
of Judah.
right? and yeah. There's the Lion of Judah.
Here's the Lion of Judah. I'm sure we'll
Yes.
put an image of it up. Larry, what does the Lion of Judah represent to you?
If we go into Ayman's story, not his story. Ayman's story.
Is it us?
If you check,
I think we
If you
might
check
be the
Ayman's
ones with
story-
the problem. Oh, Larry's also frozen.
guys, I can hear you clearly. We can hear you.
Do you want to play a song and then while we sort it out, and then we'll come back and discuss the conquering Lion of Judah.
Babylon this, Babylon.
Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Wave the banner from you know your soul clean.
Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Roots reggae music up in your bloodstream.
Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Every corner, every lane, every scheme.
Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Yes or nothing, no. This are the energy, the people, them been lacking reggae beat. This are not trapping, all who feel like them are tapping, really sleeping, and them napping while me flying round the world. Think man a genie like Aladdin, and for water down the message just be streaming. I'm not having people in a foreign say them not get no good music, so me go on in at the booth and then record like man a Cupid. Hit the target when me shoot it, it no hard to execute this lyrics. God me don't tell it for watch me prove it.
Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Wave the banner from you know your soul clean.
Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Roots reggae music up in your bloodstream.
Red, gold, and green.
Kabaka Pyramid alongside Damien
Every corner,
Junior
every
Gong
lane,
Mali.
every scheme.
Listen to Junior Gong describing these three colors that we wear.
Yes or nothing, know where we mean.
Hear me now. 3 colors run the 4 corners of the earth, the 5 oceans, 7 seas, 7 wonders of the world. Jah bust the 7 seals and sound the trumpets. Have you heard of 1892, the 7th month, the 23rd? Unto us a son was given, unto us a child was birthed. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, I listen, I the first. Some of them are weird the colors and them now do them research. Don't sing along just like we rehearsed. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Wave the banner from you know your soul clean.
Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Roots reggae music up in your bloodstream.
Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Every corner, every lane, every scheme.
Red, gold, and green.
The voice of Damien Junior Gong Mali alongside Kabaka.
One of my favorite songs, actually.
Grammy Kids.
Yeah, even the kids actually love it. My son and my nephew are obsessed with the song. Like, as soon as it comes on, they're like, oh my gosh, let's go,
Stand for justice and equality. The green is for abundance
Back
and
to it. This is the
fertility.
first segment of LNTLive. In the house, we're still here.
They say the lion stands for
sovereignty.
Sovereignty.
What does sovereignty?
You see now.
What does English say?
English. Me.
Calvin, what
we
does
got-
sovereignty? We can hear you now, Calvin. What does sovereignty stand for? Me.
Yes, sorry, I had to change the setup. I think it's controlling our destiny and governing ourselves, being in charge of ourselves, within ourselves, ultimately. I've also always thought that the Lion of Judah aspect also brings about, what do you call it? Nobility?
Supremacy.
Nobility and humbleness, respect and manners. I think I've always thought that's where it comes from, and strength as well.
That's amazing. You guys
Yeah,
are
that's
so
how I'm
smart
Very
because
smart of
that's exactly what this article says. It says the Lion of Judah is a symbol of great significance in Rastafari culture. It represents strength, power, and leadership, and is an emblem of the divine power of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie, the former emperor of Ethiopia, who is revered as the Messiah for Rastafarians. The Lion of Judah has its roots in Ethiopia. I've seen some pictures actually of Emperor Selassie with lions.
With
in his home.
lions.
Like, that's why Americans and Europeans think we just roam around with lions in our backyard. Because those are the kind of images. No, I've got a big.
Hey, we're not too late.
No, we do.
Sasha.
There's somewhere where it happens, where people roam around with lions.
Yes, obviously in the more rural areas, like back at home in KZN, we've got a jackal problem, for example, right? An eagle problem, but a whole lion. But that's what also, I guess, made Haile Selassie the majestic figure he was. It is also believed to represent the tribe of Judah, one of the 12 tribes of Israel, and its use in Ethiopian culture dates back to biblical times. There is also that history of like, I don't know where I heard it, that Haile Selassie is directly in the line of the blood of King David. I don't know if you guys know that theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Lion of Judah is depicted in various forms, including a lion as a rampant, a crowned lion, and a lion with wings. How dope? How dope is that? So, do you guys relate and what's the word I'm looking for? Is there a connection you have to that symbol of the lion, especially as Africans? We know that the lion is part of our big five. Yo, I'm speaking that way. I hope you can hear me.
I hope so too.
Yeah. Is there what feelings do you guys have towards the lion?
King of the jungle represents the king.
It's
a lion.
Simba. Mufasa.
And then the hair,
The hair. Okay.
the dreadlocks.
Larry, do you associate dreadlocks with Rastafarianism? And what do dreadlocks mean for you within the Rastafarian culture or reggae culture?
Or do you associate dreadlocks with reggae?
Larry's gone. Lavaruturo.
Yes. Look, I think you can't separate the two, especially from the eyes of someone who has been close to both Rastafarianism and reggae for the most part of my life, but have never really fully delved into Rastafarianism. I can't separate them. I think Rastafarians that I know, all that I've experienced and known, have had dreadlocks. If that makes sense? Of course,
Yeah, man.
there are people that love reggae that have not had dreadlocks, like Larry.
Like you.
I'm going after Larry. Larry. Yeah, but like, I can't separate the two. I can't separate the two. Of course, I appreciate that you don't have to be Rasta to love reggae. But I've seen, all the Rastafarianism, or you don't have to have dreadlocks, rather, to love
To be
reggae.
Rasta.
And similarly to be Rasta, because I think it's a way of life, it's a culture, but it's such a significant part of how people see you and how people perceive you.
It's the
That whole
package.
aspect of- Yes, that whole aspect of respect and like a symbol, like identify me. It's also, I think it's worn with pride as well. Because just something, when I was a kid, I asked my dad, why don't they cut their hair, right? Why don't Rastafarians cut their hair? I don't know if it's true, but I've always believed it because it's something that I was told as a kid. But he said he thinks it's also tied to slavery, in that back in the day when people were taken as slaves, they would cut your hair, and I think they did something here that would take away this thing, and it was like stripping of your identity of sorts. That's why you don't cut this part or shape it or some sorts. I think that was tied to some. It would have been seen as
that history of
defacing you of
dreadlocks.
sorts. Yeah, it would have seen as defacing. That has always been my understanding. I would actually want to do some more research into it, but that has also been part of like how also you must not cut this part of you because this is your face, it's your identity. I don't know if someone understands that better. It would be great if they can like comment and let us know deeper. But that was always my understanding, and I was told it as a kid. So
That's
I'm
interesting.
probably misunderstanding it. But yeah.
That's interesting. It's the first time I hear that because my association with dreadlocks.
Yeah.
As an African, first of all, it's just your hair, right?
Yeah.
It's your natural flow of hair, and I personally don't associate it with Rastafarianism. I associate it with Africanism, right? Because it's how our hair naturally grows and like out of our hair. Obviously, Rastafarianism is rooted in Africanism as well, but for me, it's just the natural state of our hair. My mom used to tell me this beautiful thing to say, our hair is our antennas to the heavens. It's our antennas to God, and that's got
I was
nothing
about
to
to
do
say the
with
same thing.
Yes, it's how we are, it's how we flow. When we were watching the Bob Marley movie, we also learned that Rita Marley was saved by her
Yeah,
dreadlocks.
yeah.
When they were shot in Bob Marley's house. So there's also the practical, just real function of having dreadlocks and not
Yes,
having
I-
your
I'm-
hair grow naturally out of its head as coils. Yes, Larry?
I can also testify on that one about being saved by the dreadlocks. I was once attacked on the head and I was saved by dreadlocks.
Hectic. What did they try to do to you? Hit you with a bottle?
Our Tuli Tools knows the story. I've got a couple of stitches on the head. If I didn't have dreadlocks by then, maybe we'll be talking a different story.
That is intense. No, we give thanks that your dreadlocks saved by the crown. It's
Yeah,
really a crown of armor.
Blocking bullets with his dreadlocks.
What's wrong?
Right?
I'm sorry.
You've got dreadlocks
If I can
right
pitch
now.
in quickly, if I can pitch
Pardon?
in quickly,
Yeah?
So
Yes.
the whole cutting of the head tied with slavery was that the purpose of shaving the heads of newly enslaved people was to humiliate them and also to shear their ties with their culture and homeland. So I think that's what my dad was probably referring to. So I think
And-
hence perhaps maybe this was in rebellion as
And
well
that
to
makes
some
sense.
extent.
That makes sense because during colonization, they had to make us forget who we are. Well, the ones that they took over, they had to dehumanize them in a way, which is the sucky part of everything. I also heard from a Rastafarian friend of mine that another purpose of not purpose but the connection with Rastafarianism and reggae, and I don't know how true this is that during the colonization of Ethiopia, well, they didn't actually colonize Ethiopia. It was during that era when they were trying to colonize, and Haile Selassie was like, oh, hell no, not in my country. It was the Italians, I think. And I think he either went into hiding or exile. And the soldiers of Ethiopia vowed to keep their hair until their emperor returned. So it's also a symbol of commitment to an ideology. So that's just one of them that we know of. Trudy Tools, what do you associate dreadlocks with? Do you think it's strictly Rasta, strictly Africanism? Is it reggae? What do dreadlocks mean to you as a man with the full crown of dreadlocks?
It means freedom. It means it's a crown. It means it's like royalty. It's like I'm carrying this
thing.
This thing.
It's like a coat of like velvety fur.
You know? You understand? Man. It means so much. There's a lot. Hey.
As we said earlier, on the lion represents royalty, right? And you just
Yeah.
also associated your hair with royalty. You feel big, you feel large, you feel it's your sense of identity. According to Lion Lock's article, the origin of dreadlocks in Rastafarian culture originated in Jamaica during the 1930s and has since spread to various parts of the world. Dreadlocks in Rastafarian cultures are known as the holy crown of hair, which represents a person's connection with their or his faith. Rastafarians believe that dreadlocks symbolize the strength of their connection with God. Also, who was that gent? Who Delilah's guy?
Samson.
Solomon.
Samson.
Samson, yeah.
Samson, right?
Solomon.
King Solomon is where the
ganja.
the ganja
Yeah.
grew, right?
Larry now go to church from him.
I was going to Sunday school, Larry. Samson, his strength was in his hair.
Hair.
Yeah.
And because we must also remember Rastafarianism is rooted in Christian, Orthodox Christian ways. So it's so interesting to actually start seeing those connections, because you even see here, they say Rastafarians take part in the Nazarite vow, which includes the practice of growing hair into dreadlocks, which is interesting. My church, when I grew up, it was Church of the Nazarene, and it is not Rastafarian at all. But to see the name Nazarene, because I'm considered Nazarene, according to my Christian denomination, which actually means we are all into, like,
All
it's
one.
Yeah.
we're all one, right? Because I consider myself a Nazarite as a raised Christian, but Rastafarians are also part of the Nazarites. All Rastafarians make the pledge, which they interpret as being mandated by the Bible, which is in Leviticus 21, verse 5. Samson's dreadlocks lend credence to the theory of the Nazarites. Like Samson, many Rastafarians think their hair is both their strength and their weakness. In the past, Rastafarians in Jamaica were intimidated by the threat of arrest and having their dreadlocks cut due to widespread misconception, doing so render them vulnerable. I think this connects to what you were saying, Navarro. So during slavery, they would cut their hair to humiliate them. And post-slavery, the dreadlocks were cut off to humiliate you even more and disconnect you to your identity. Do you guys see the connection?
Yeah.
True story.
Absolutely.
The two songs that I want to play for you, right? Sorry. About hair and dreadlocks, right? Two reggae songs that contradict each other, right?
Hectic.
I'll drop it quickly and then we'll just split. It's about the hair thing. Before we leave the hair.
Let's do it.
So there's this one that we all know. This is Morgan Heritage. Don't have you dread.
You don't have to dread to be Rasta. No. This is not a dreadlocks thing. Divine conception of the heart. Well, you don't have to dread to be Rasta. Well, this is not a dreadlocks thing. Divine conception of the heart.
This is Black Uhuru.
Dread to be Rasta.
The name of the track is Dread to be Rasta.
You have to dread to be Rasta. So they come on in pasta. You dread to be a lion. So they come on go as I am.
That was so interesting to hear, actually. I'm assuming both are Rastafarians.
Yes.
Which one came out first, please? Which one came out first?
Which one came out first?
I would assume Morgan Heritage first.
It sounds like a
don't
Drake
know.
and Kendrick type of thing.
Original beef, Rastafarian reggae beef.
Is it?
It's opinions, right? And that's the thing. At the end of the day, I think leading towards the end of our conversation, it's all your opinion and what you want to align your religious and music intention with. So if you feel like for you to be a full Rastafarian, you have to have dreadlocks. You don't eat meat. You don't drink the fire water. You don't smoke the Babylon stick, right? That's for you. And if that's what gets you closer to your divine self, then that's okay. But I think removing judgment is important when it comes to these kinds of conversations, because we all have our paths. I know a lot of people who were Rasta then liked reggae, and I also know people who've liked reggae and then fell into Rasta, and some had dreadlocks, some didn't. Navarro, you wanted to add a point around Gramps Morgan and Peter Morgan before we close off the first segment of the show.
Oh yeah, sure. I did watch. There was an interview that happened in which Gramps, regarding Peter's passing. I think everyone was just like, "What happened?" etc. and stuff. And so, journalists spoke to Gramps and was just like, "Gramps, talk to us. What happened? He was passing his condolences and stuff." And also Gramps was just talking about his relationship with his brother, growing in music, etc., and what he has lost. But most importantly, he was saying that, like, the disintegration, like the way Peter's life came to an end, it happened so quickly. He just had a rare condition, and there's nothing medically that could happen for him. And it just took a few months for him to get to the point whereby he ended up just passing on. And what I did respect, I think Grams was like, it's for Peter's wife and his family to get to a point, to the extent that they ever want to do it, to disclose what was the condition that resulted in him passing. But ultimately, it was just a rare condition and something that happened so quickly. I think he was talking about something they were doing maybe in like January or February, then all of a sudden things just went south very quickly.
Oh, life is something else, man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the legendary Peter Morgan, a legend of reggae music. We played a song by Morgan Heritage right now, and we could hear his voice. We give thanks for the music.
So I got a voice note from Ali. Right?
Okay.
Because I'd asked him for a voice note telling us the difference between reggae and Rastafari.
Who's Ali?
Ali is part of the family, Dreadlocs Nation, Soweto. So now I sent it to Larry to see if he can play it. Larry, are you able to play it, or should I still try connect? We've got like how many minutes? 10 minutes.
Let me try playing it now and see how it goes.
Let's hear what he says. I didn't even hear it. So yeah, with Ali.
Selassie, man, greetings, my Lord. Yeah, Father, you say the difference between reggae music and Rastafari. Rastafari is an
Larry, where are you?
Larry,
it was playing so nicely.
when it was getting interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
No, it's playing.
We can't hear
It
it.
stopped for us.
Yeah, it's when we're starting to go in.
You know?
Oh,
Sorry, please start it again.
let me try. But it's playing. What's happening?
It was
with this
playing
thing?
quite nicely, but it stopped.
Okay, I think we can pick it up. Try pick it up.
all right.
Ah,
Selassie,
there
man,
we go.
greetings, my Lord.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah, Father, you say the difference between reggae music and Rastafari. Rastafari is an way of life. Some might prefer.
Nah, it's the audio. It's gone. It's also quiet on my
It's
end.
chopping. All right, but thank you to Ali for trying to share it. We'll share it on our social media platforms as
Was
a
that
separate.
it?
No, I think it chopped. We'll post on our social media platforms for those who want to listen.
Can I try quickly?
We are out of time. Yes, we are out of time. We need to
Let
play
me try
the
one
live
more
performance clip.
time.
How much time do we have, Munya? Munya is our
Nah, it won't
producer.
play.
Like I feel like that's such an important clip.
It is, but time is of the essence. You see?
Wait, let's just one more. I'm gonna try.
We're on 51 minutes, which means we've got 6
I don't know
minutes.
what's happening.
How many? 9.
Oh, never mind. I closed.
Ah, la la.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. We'll edit on
We'll,
the next
we'll edit.
show
we'll-
or some way.
And we'll put it as part of our social media videos. So, next up is the live performance. Are you ready, DJ Tootie Tools?